Welcome to the Keep It Real AF podcast. I'm Amy, and I started this podcast because I missed my friends. Life in your 50s isn't always easy, and it can feel like you're doing it all on your own, but you're not. We're here to talk about the things that matter and maybe even have a laugh along the way.
My vote, we start with skincare. I cannot wait to tell you guys about this amazing new product line I just found.
Meanwhile, I'm just over here trying to figure out my next career move and how to find a man. Priorities, right?
Yep, this is what we're about, keeping it real. A little friend time makes everything better. So glad you're here. Can't wait to hang out. Welcome back to another Keep It Real AF episode. We're so happy that you're listening. And I think before we go any further, if you are listening and this is maybe your second or third time, we would please love it if you shared an episode with your friends, made a post. We'd love for you to spread the word if you're enjoying being a part of our coffee chat. If this is your first time, so happy you're here. Grab a bevvy. I'm drinking a coffee. Some of you may have other things, but we are having some girl chat for women in their 50s, talking about topics that we care about, and honestly, just taking a little time out and having a minute with our friends because a little bit of runtime, we think, makes everything better. So a few episodes ago, it'd be episode 1, Beth shared and revealed a shocking truth that she has a pack of hair extensions. Hair is looking so beautiful, it looks so natural. So we got talking about that. And because we're talking, to women, all of us in our 50s or middle age, hair loss sucks. And it happens because we're aging and our hormones are declining, and that can lead to shedding, brittle hair, and that just blows. So we wanted to riff on that a little bit more. And I brought my friend and hair expert, Cynthia Covey. Can you say a quick hi and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Cynthia. I know Amy, I did her hair for a little while, but we live so far away from each other. I own a salon in Bellbrook, Ohio. It's called White Owl Salon. I've been there for 4 years, and before that, I worked in the Cincinnati area for about 10 years. And so now I'm just continuing the journey, and I'm a mom, got 2 little girls, and just doing
Awesome.
mine. Yeah.
So Cynthia does a lot of my friends' hair, and she's seen the extensions. The people that she does look phenomenal, and she's shared a lot over the time with us about just different options. So I thought she'd be great to share a little bit of her expertise. And before we go there, we got to get a little catch up. So, Em, kick us off. How you doing? How was your weekend?
Doing good. I had a great weekend. So providing the out of town update. And I did ask the question, where do you see this going? And it was quickly turned around to, well, where do you see this going?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the question. So where do you see this going? And I was honest. I know things have been casual, but I would like to see things ramp up a little. I have a friend of ours that she's in an out-of-town relationship as well, and they see each other every weekend, and it's back and forth, and he's like, you know what? I work 7 days a week. There is no way I could do what they do, and I feel like as much as we see each other, that it is what it is. So, we can make a decision whether this is good for us or not. So I really thought about that on my long drive home and of what I really want. Because, 2025 is about being in a committed relationship and what I really want. And do I want to see someone 2, maybe 3 times a month? No, I don't. I don't want to see someone 2 or 3 times a month. I want something more, knowing it is what it is with the relationship and not trying to pursue things further. Yeah. Like we might see each other because...
Yeah. The turning the tables. Like, you want a confident man who can answer the question, what do you want? Like the spin to back on you. I don't like that. Like, nobody's wasting time. Like, nobody's in the business of wasting time. And if they are, that's not what you're interested in. So Really?
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought of it as well of if someone really wanted to be in a relationship, they would say, "Let's think about what we can do. What are
Let's
some
make it
things
work."
that you're let's make it work." And so I think he's just in a point where he's good with, seeing each other occasionally, and but I'm not. So, yeah.
Emily, let him.
Yes.
Yes.
I know. Mel Robbins.
Because also,
We
hey, Emily,
Mel Robbins.
Emily, in 2025, you don't chase people.
I know. And that's what I thought about. I'm like, what? There is a man
Mic
out
drop.
there that is willing to fight for me, who wants to really be with me, who's going to put in that effort. There is someone out there that's going to do that. And I don't want to
Mhm.
be some kind of weekend girl when it's convenient for you to get together because you have a busy schedule or whatever. I feel really good about it. I feel really good about pondering on it yesterday and just the way I felt, and I feel good about it. So,
Can I say
Proud of
something?
you.
yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Proud of
Okay,
you.
so
I know I don't know your whole situation, but I did watch the first episode of your guys' podcast. But you are a man that's confident enough to say, "I want you, and I want this to go somewhere." You don't want somebody to be so wishy-washy to where they're gonna be like, well, that's I don't know.
What
That's
do
not
you
hearing.
want? Tell me what you want.
Yeah.
No.
No,
Answer
no,
the
yeah, I
question.
know.
Be a man.
I want you
Answer
to start with Cynthia, not me, and then I'm gonna decide what I wanna do.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
I felt the same way. Even if he didn't want, even if he wants to have something that's more casual, but not being like, well, here's how I feel, like confident about it. That's a wuss way out.
Yeah.
Out of chatter, it's a wuss way out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Peace
Yeah.
out of towner.
Yep. Emily, can we share the little tidbit about when you were out, how you ran into a couple who listened?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, a couple of when I was out and about, a couple guys. So if you're watching, they were listening, and I was like, "You're not supposed to listen. Like this is for women." And yeah, but maybe they could learn a thing or two. But
Yes.
yeah. It's nice to
Yeah, I
know
think
that
this
some
is
of my
perfect.
male friends are, checking things out. So hey,
Yeah. So if you're interested in dating Emily, listen to the podcast. Listen to what we're saying.
Yeah.
Oh man, the best catch ever right here, Emily. The best catch. So thanks,
so kind.
thanks for that update. But
Yes,
you know,
of
I
you.
think just to close it, right? You have it. There's power in knowing, right?
Yes. Yep. It's a good thing.
Steph, you got an update for us?
I'm just working on healing and getting better over
'Cause
this influenza. So day by day.
yeah. Well, you look again. You don't look like you have it. And by the way, Cynthia, I know you were battling the flu too. I mean, you both. I hope I look like but ever sick both of you. So thank you again for being here, Cynthia, and glad you're here too, Steph. And you know what? I took some downtime yesterday, and it's tough for me to relax. It really is. I know that might sound crazy, but I think there's something to be said about being lazy. And I did a little binge watching on Southern Hospitality and a little bit of Selling in the OC. I mean, it's so bad. I know that sounds horrible, but I was just like, a couple hours later, I was like, oh, I didn't think about anything. And so I don't know if it was our conversation the last time we met about TV, but I had a couple hours, and that was probably one of the highlights, having a little lazy time.
That's
I
awesome.
was, yeah, it was fun. So, feeling more rested today because I had a true break. All right. So today, I forgot to share a tip today. So today, or maybe I did. I don't know. Well, we're going to talk hair extensions. And so let's transition there. And I just thought of again, we're talking about women who our age, not, not people who are younger and just want longer hair, but people who might be in a situation where their hair is starting to get thin or it's weak or it's brittle. Is there are there qualifications or things you look for that make someone a good candidate for hair extension? Like, can anyone get them?
Oh, absolutely. So I want to say 90% of people. I feel like if you have a healthy scalp, you're not dealing with a lot of medication changes to where you could be dealing with some hair loss as a result of the medication. If you're not dealing with active hair loss, so you're not currently going through that stage of, it's called
Alopecia, something. I remember it
yes,
too. Yes, I forget
fluvium,
what the name of it.
collagen
Yeah.
oblivium. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're not going through that actively, then yes, I think that there are lots of people that are good candidates for hair extensions. There are many different kinds. There's K-tips, which are keratin glued tips, which are like individual little ones. They kind of look like shoelaces. There's beaded ones, which don't get glued into the hair. They're just slipped into a bead and then clamped onto your hair. And then there's your most common right now, most popular is the sew-in wefts. But with each of those, you're putting tension on your hair. You're putting more hair than was there before. So it's going to be a little heavier and it's going to cause a little bit of tension. So your scalp has to get used to that. Some people are going to have irritation no matter what. So they might look like they're a good candidate and then you put it in and then they have irritation or they're having excessive shedding and then you're like, you should take it out. If your stylist is ignoring that, maybe you should get a second opinion, you know? But I think that with proper care, a lot of people can really benefit from hair extensions, especially right now with all of the stuff going on with, I know, Amy, you and I have talked about Ozempic hair loss and then hair loss with aging, and then there's COVID hair loss, and there's even hair loss from stress. I think that if you're not like actively going through a full shedding stage, absolutely. I think you should definitely look into.
So is there a reason why you'd recommend one kind versus another? Is it cost or is it the hair?
Cost can definitely vary. I think that it's really preference. And I think that with a lot of stylists, they have kind of their go-to method that they prefer. I like the sew-ins, but the other thing is it's not a one size fits all. A lot of people right now are going to the sew-in wefts. I love the sew-ins as far as like ease of installation, but again, one size doesn't fit all. So if you've got really fine hair and you put a weft in and you can see a little bit of your scalp, chances are you are probably going to see that weft come all the way under here because you have to have enough hair up here to cover
what is a weft? Is it like what is it? Is it?
So a weft is just it's like hair, like a bunch of hair hanging from a string. And it's all sewn into like a row, basically. And so when you put it on a sew-in track, so you have to lay groundwork for a sew-in installation, which means you have to bead the hair against the scalp, and then the stylist will lay the weft on top of the beads. She'll clip it in, and then she'll sew it into the beads, and so that's how it's anchored in. The problem with that sometimes is if your hair is really fine, you can see the sides of it because they have to come all the way up to probably about 2-finger width from your hairline is usually where it stops. So if your hair is really thin, you're probably going to see those spots like right on the side.
Like, should you see? Like, what's the etiquette? Like, if you get extensions, like, should you just like sometimes I've seen if I'm with someone and their hair is moving around a little bit, I can see beads. Is that just to be expected, or is that like no? What's the etiquette? Like,
you shouldn't see if the wind blows and then you're like, oh, your weave is showing. That's a little different. But I mean, you don't want to if you're walking in the grocery store, you don't want somebody to be like, your weave is showing, So you definitely want that covered. And you want your hair, you want to have enough hair to cover that. So that's kind of up to your stylist to decide and figure out what the best fit for you is, and not necessarily being like, well, this is my favorite kind, so this is just what I'm going to do. No, they should look as natural as possible. Now, there are some extreme cases where people are going through some repair. I have had a bad experience with lightener, and so their stylist is trying to remedy that by putting extensions in to make it longer and trying to hide some of the breakage. So sometimes it's inevitable you're going to see them a little bit then until it grows out.
Do you get extensions though? Will it damage your hair? Like, are you if you get extensions, then forever you're going to probably need them, or is there like a
No. So if you get, I have some people that only get them for like special occasions, or I have one girl, she'll get them like in the summer. So that's like her summer treat. She'll be like, oh yeah, I want to go to the lake and have my braid and do all this cute stuff. But no, I don't think once you get them, you always need them. As far as it damaging your hair, no. But if there's not proper installation, yes, it will damage your hair. And it's not so much damaging your hair, it'll damage your scalp. So with it pulling some of the spots on your scalp, it can cause permanent balding in those areas.
Ooh.
So you just have to be really, you have to be really careful with how much tension is being put on one area. You have to be careful with your upkeep. Now, I've had some clients that don't wash their extensions or really scrub their scalp right here. So they start having like buildup. Scalp care is really an important part of having extensions. You really have to take care of your scalp, because if you don't do that, then on top of irritation and possibly like having tension alopecia, you're going to cause yourself to shed because your scalp is not healthy. So you might shed a little bit more.
On how often you should wash your hair. I mean, I know before extensions, I was washing every day, which was too much, but I'm just curious, what's the general recommendation?
So I would say a couple of times a week. I think maybe every other day if you have to wash it. Extensions, I would say at least wash it twice a week. If you can get away with once a week, great. I have a lot of my clients we call it the half wash. So I don't know if your stylist told you. So I'll just have them wash this top part. So they'll clip everything back and then just wash the top part, and it kind of saves them, because I think too much washing, especially because you've got minerals in your water. You don't want to put excessive heat on your extensions. You don't want to strip the oils that are already in there, because you do need to oil them and keep them hydrated. So you don't want to do excessive washing of the actual extensions. You just need to make sure you're caring for your scalp. I would say the extensions really don't need to be washed, but maybe like once or twice a week, depending on how much product you put into them.
Never heard of the half wash. I've never heard of the half wash.
Yeah.
Like, can I half wash? It's great. Washing my hair. I don't know if you guys, well, Steph, now you're, it's like, that's a monumental, that is a special occasion.
Right.
Like, what do you put it back? You literally wet the top, the half?
Oh yeah, kitchen sink wash. I have them parted through here and then clip the rest back, and they dunk their head in the sink. They wash the top part and dry it.
Well, I think about how much it would keep I'm always trying to think about ways I can keep my hair healthy without the drying or the curling. So that could, that might save me.
So,
Oh,
Cynthia,
good tip.
is there
Good
a
tip, Cynthia.
specific type of shampoo that you would recommend for someone that has extensions or someone that has thinning hair that can help produce growth? There's Nutrafol or Routine, and there's so many different ads that are out there that's like, is this going to help thicken up your hair? I get,
Vitamins and liquid hair treatments and
Yes. So as far as extensions go, I would say something hydrating, a good, for anybody, a good clarifying shampoo. Because, and I think that a lot of people think that clarifying shampoo is like only if you've got like crazy buildup or like you're trying to get something out of your hair, but clarifying shampoo is good for like day to day. I would use it weekly, unless you wash
What's your
hair
favorite brand? What brand do you love?
Ooh, okay. So my favorite brand clarifying shampoo, I love the Surface Purify. Surface is an all-natural brand. It's wonderful. The Purify is my favorite. You can leave that in for about 10 minutes and kind of let it go and then rinse it out. Unite has a clarifying shampoo. It's called the Weekender. And then Redken has one called, I want to say it's clarifying cream. But the Surface and the Unite are hands down all-time fave. And I've used a lot. I don't want to dog on Kenra, but I would say I have a lot of clients who have the Kenra one. I used to use that before I did a perm because I knew it would all be out, and oil be out, and your hair would feel like it too. So I would probably stay away from that one. The Surface and the Unite and the Redken, great options. It's going to keep your scalp healthy. So, and I think that's the biggest thing is like your scalp health. And also day to day, I mean, you have a lot of people who put oil in their hair. Once there's enough in there, it's going to repel water and moisture. So a lot of times whenever, especially argan oil, I don't know if a lot of people know that about argan and coconut oil, sometimes it can get so buried into your hair shaft that it actually starts repelling that moisture.
Oh.
So using a good clarifying shampoo, getting all of that out and kind of starting fresh again, it's going to make your hair feel a lot better and it's going to keep your scalp really healthy. Yes, Emily, I agree. There's a million things out on the market right now as far as helping your hair grow back. There's Nutrafol and Vegamore and all the things that I feel like I've bought into whenever I was dealing with the COVID hair loss. Diet is a lot. And Amy, you and I have talked about that. Diet is a lot of what goes into your hair health. I think that people forget that those two are so closely connected. What you're putting into your body is going to reflect in your hair and your skin. When drinking enough water and feeding your body and making sure you're getting enough protein.
Protein is key. So our hair is shedding and we're losing hair because estrogen and progesterone are declining.
Yes.
And so by boosting protein, which is definitely helps in so many ways with hormonal balance and keeping muscle and your brain health, so much. So aiming for 100 grams of protein or more in a day is huge. Looking for ways to boost collagen is also super helpful. And you can do that by eating a lot of vitamin C rich foods. But that it's kind of back to some of the basics, Emily, and definitely like an omega-3 supplement along with omega-3 foods like fatty fish, chia, flax. But the combination of all of that from a nutrition standpoint is super helpful for so many reasons, but especially for hair thinning.
Ooh, you know what? Actually, I will say this. So I did go talk to my dermatologist about the whole like hair shedding situation. And she was telling me, which is actually kind of funny. And I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought about this. So I asked her about biotin because I know a lot of people are like, oh, biotin. Like I'm taking this much biotin. And so I told her, I haven't started taking any biotin or anything. I kind of wanted to talk to you about that. And she was like, don't do it. And I was like, oh. Why not? And she's like, because it can actually do the opposite. Well, I just had a client come in and she's like, well, my dermatologist told me to take biotin. So now I'm just kind of like, ooh, I don't know. So I'm a little like gun shy either way, to tell people to do it. Part of me is like, if you have a deficiency, then definitely. But I almost feel like one of those is sometimes too much is too much. But I will say I've seen some really positive from rosemary oil of all things. And I feel like a lot of talking about that, but I've seen now it says that if you use pure rosemary oil, it can actually have the opposite effect. So don't do that. So it sounds like if you're mixing it with something that is pre-mixed specifically for hair, I know there are some things on Amazon. I want to say the brand is called Mealy. It's mixed with rosemary and peppermint. Have you seen that?
I have not. No.
Okay. But I've seen some really positive results from that with some of my clients that have been using it. I would say give it like 4 to 6 weeks to see some decrease in shedding. Do you shed a lot?
I don't shed a lot. For me, I do have thin hair. I used to have amazing hair, but then I had my daughter and it just came out in handfuls. I can only really wear it shoulder length because if I grow it longer, it gets very thin at the bottom. So I would love to have long, luscious hair like the three of you. So the hair extensions, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could do that, that would be
What about
amazing.
A halo? Isn't the halo like just try? Do you know what a halo is, Emily?
I have heard of halos, yes.
So I don't know. I think isn't it like a temporary? Like you just put it in?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Can you tell everybody what it is?
So a halo, it almost looks like fishing string or fishing wire, but it's a circle. And then you have the top is clear. It goes around your head. So I would say maybe 3 inches from your hair. There you go. Oh, yeah. She's like,
halo.
So
for those of you listening, Steph has a valet bag for clothing. It looks like, but it's her halo.
For clothing. So this is
that's beautiful. But
wow.
Kind of like that.
Yep.
And then you pull all your hair
on top of it,
like,
and
you just pick it all out. And it's
let me see. Oh, okay. Nice. I can see a little girl's night out boost.
But then I would do like the little braid to the side or the hair to the side or something. Like
Emily, I think you should think about a little pack. Do you do little packs, Cynthia? Like just a tiny one, just to see if you
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah. You should.
Because like the halo's cute for a night out, but it's really
Yeah.
not gonna. If you
Yeah,
have
but the halo,
Yeah.
you can't really pull it because it's you
Okay,
gotta
yeah.
you have to. It feels like it's gonna come off at any time. You gotta be careful.
Doesn't feel like
No,
that. So I won't deal
yeah.
with a lot of halos, but I mean, I have some clients that have them who like love them, but
Yeah.
so does it not feel very secure?
No, it doesn't. If you were to
Interesting.
go out like a night out dancing, whipping your head around, like it might,
You might lose it.
you might
Yeah.
lose it.
You might lose it in the club.
What you say? I'm thinking of other scenarios where like,
Yes, it's not secure.
oh,
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Honey, you just lost
Well,
your hair. That's not a good thing.
Right. Maybe a pack of what Steph has, just like one pack of the keratin bonds. I feel like that would be great. And it probably help just give you some fullness. You won't see it as much. And you can pull it back. Steph, do you feel like you could pull yours back
Yeah.
pretty?
I don't
Like-
have any, and I'm very conscientious. Like, can you see it? So, I mean, even when I pull it back every day and I go to the gym, like I'm always, with a mirror looking, can you see it? Can you see it? I can't find spots that I could see. Yeah, it's really,
I know that's awesome.
really in there.
Cynthia, if you were going to give someone, I'm going to put you in the spot, like a starter
Yeah.
pack, give us a ballpark range. What does that cost for someone to get a pack, or not going to come hunt you down if you're wrong?
Oh,
We're
no,
just
no, no.
curious. Yeah.
But I want to say, okay, so this is the other thing is time wise. For me, I can put a weft in, probably put 2 rows in like your entire appointment, maybe like an hour with a whole head of K-tip extensions. That's taken me 8 hours before straight.
Wow.
So I don't know how long yours took, Steph, but
It's about an hour, but she's
hour?
wicked
Okay.
fast. Like
Yes.
yeah,
that sounds amazing. She sounds amazing.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so I know that like for some of the girls that I had back when I was doing them, they would have like 5 packs in there, and it would take me every bit of hours.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Wow.
And so at that point, you're kind of charging by the hour. So you could be looking sometimes $100 an hour. Some people charge $60 an hour. So you're looking to pay around like $1,500 when
Whoa.
everything's said and done. Yeah.
Oh,
But with the wet, it is so expensive already. I feel like it could be affordable. I don't feel like it's really necessary to upcharge all of that all the time. As far as the service charge goes, that's separate. But the hair, I don't ever upcharge on. Let's say you came in and you're going to get wefts, right? Your pack of hair is going to cost probably around like $550 for a pack. Charge $300 per row to install. So 6 plus, so you're looking around anywhere from $1,100-$1,200, right? So that's for the hair
Investment.
and so
Yeah.
the next time you come in, let's say you only get 1 row, you still have that whole weft left. So
Okay.
we're buying hair for each and every time. So I know that not everybody
Cool.
does. So yeah,
That's all right. It sounds like it's all
Yeah.
over the board.
it really
But
is.
I also think, I think before you make that, I think we should talk supplements just to make sure, like,
Yeah.
you're taking some of the basic ones just to make sure, so you can work on, health here and every, like those omega-3s, D with
Yeah.
K. Like, we should do our check down.
Yeah,
Absolutely. But I want to full time. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Cynthia. I really appreciate just getting
course.
schooled on the whole hair extension world, because I know a lot of my friends are like, huh, wow, what are my options? So thank you so much.
Of course.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up, ladies?
I had a question. As we were talking about, salon and sitting in the salon, I was thinking about something, and I think about this often when I go into the salon. And so I'm curious if it's just me or if anybody else feels the same way. And Cynthia, tell me if any of your clients have ever shared this. Do you know the moment after you've had, whatever it is, your color or whatnot, and you go and they shampoo your hair and it feels so good, and you go back to the chair, and whether you're preparing to get cut or blown out, moment where you're sitting in the chair and your hair's wet and it's flat. And like for me, when my hair's wet, it's like, it's just brown and fluorescent lights are on and pale and I'm pasty and I've got a black tape on and the tape is like tight. And it's like, like the skin on your neck that you don't want to admit is there. It's like pushing up like a turtleneck. And you have that moment, like there's like this fleeting moment. It happens every time. And I'm like, I love coming to the salon, but like, fuck, I hate this moment. Like where you're looking at yourself. And this is not like a pity party moment or like, oh, tell me I'm pretty. Like, but it's just, this happens every time. And I'm like, is this just me? Or does every woman have that moment where you're sitting in the chair and you're like, so fucking ugly? Like, and then you get blown out
Things
and
aren't
then you're
looking
like
good.
gorgeous.
Yes.
But like,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this
It
just
depends on
me?
the lighting. Yeah. No, I mean, it's a come to Jesus moment every time I'm with mine. It really is. I'm like, oh my God. I'll look more closely and be like, I really have some extra wrinkles today.
Yeah.
Like, did I not moisturize enough? Or like my circles. It's always my circles. And I like it is. But I do have to tell you, like towards the end, usually, because my stylist, the same stylist Emily has, like she can do hair. And then all of a sudden I'm like, my hair looks good.
Yes.
So sometimes it's like a yin and a yang. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there because I have shared this with my hairdresser and she's like, you're the only person that's ever verbalized that to me, which is like, you know,
Oh my goodness. I think that's a total universal.
Is
You
it?
come back to the chair. I do it too, where you look in the mirror and you're like, have I always been this ugly?
it's like
Like,
the
have
weirdest
I-
moment.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
and then everything is fine afterwards.
I know. It's a great sell-up opportunity for any stylist, by the way. Like to have makeup there. I mean,
Yes.
seriously.
Yes.
Oh, I do remember when I was in my 20s, I was living near Stephanie, and every time we would go to the hairdresser, I think her name was Cheryl. Just, we
Yes.
would call each other. That was our voicemail usually when we would call each other. 'Cause going to the hair salon, and I still feel this way. It's a special moment. First of all, it's
It
usually
is.
investment of time, and I usually like it is a glow up. I usually am looking to get a little lighter, except for the moment where you're like, oh shit, I should have put more makeup on or stuff. But it's a moment. And every time we would go to the salon, we would always walk out with definitely extra products
So
or
much products.
something she talked us into.
So the
Oh, yeah.
mirrors they have that you see in some of the fancy hotel bathrooms or different places that you step in front of it and you're like, damn, looking good. Because the lighting is amazing. That's what you
It's
in
a
all the
soft
salons.
light. Yes.
Yeah. You feel good about yourself. Yeah. A couple selfies, you know.
Thank you so much again, Cynthia. And hey, friends listening, if we missed a question or you have something that you want to share about your hair extension or your supplements or anything, we want to hear it. So drop a comment in wherever you're listening to this or on the Food and Mood Lab website, because there's a great spot there for suggestions. So share this with your friends and till next time.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Share this with your friends. We'll see you next time.